I have to cap my success because for me to
Up
help
next,
people
work
out,
for 20
I can't
seconds.
just say I did it once and I'm good.
3,
I have to
2,
continue to
1.
reinvent the wheel of the mind
Work.
and
Set
figure out
1.
more and more ways for you to pull. Because if I have a cookie cutter message, it may hit 5 people out of 25. You just failed. My
Up
message
next,
needs
rest
to
for
be
10
in a way
seconds.
where I can hit all 25 people. It needs to be
3,
broad enough
2,
to where
1.
all 25 people may not
Rest.
like the message,
Up
but
next,
they're getting
work for
something from
20
it.
seconds.
And that is evolution. You must continue to evolve.
3,
And you don't
2,
evolve for
1.
me in my job
Work.
unless I cap myself somewhere. It's okay. You made this much money. Get back to fucking work. It's time to get back to work. Stop hearing yourself talk. Get off the podcast. Don't
Up
be on
next,
social
rest
media
for
too
10
much.
seconds.
Cut out all the fucking noise. Get back to the fucking mental lab.
3,
Because that's where the knowledge
2,
came from.
1.
So for me, I must
Rest.
cap myself so I can come
Up
back with
next,
better,
work for 20
more
seconds.
unique knowledge versus the all that cookie cutter knowledge
3,
that's out there.
2,
That's why people
1.
buy the books I have because it's
Work.
cookie cutter. It's real knowledge.
The other thing now is, when you first started, you were a lone ranger.
Right.
Nobody really knew who you were outside of some obscure endurance places. And
Up next, rest for 10
half-heard
seconds.
weird myths.
Right.
But now you've got people's expectations laid
3,
on top as well.
2,
So not only have
1.
you got to deal with
Rest.
success potentially making you soft,
Up
you've got to
next,
tap that,
work
you've got
for
to say
20
no to
seconds.
money and opportunities and cool people.
Right.
You've also got this extra
3,
layer of expectation
2,
that's coming through
1.
from other people too. And I think
Work.
when you talk about trained humility
Right.
in the new book too, I've got to presume that that fits into this equation.
Right. It fits in big time. And that's one big reason why I do fight fire.
Up
Because
next, rest for 10 seconds.
All the knowledge for myself comes from that place. It doesn't
3,
come from the place of
2,
success.
1.
My knowledge does not come from the place
Rest.
of, like, 'cause for me,
Up next,
I
work for
built
20
Goggins
seconds.
from the ground up. I was born David Goggins. David
3,
Goggins wasn't good enough.
2,
He was
1.
a scared, bullied,
Work.
abused kid who struggled in life. And that kid, whenever something got tough, no matter how hard I trained, no matter how ready I
Up
was,
next, rest for 10 seconds.
whenever something got tough for me, David
3,
Goggins, the
2,
real David Goggins,
1.
would come out. And he would
Rest.
quit. So I
Up
realized
next,
this
work
was
for
gonna
20
come.
seconds.
So I had to build Goggins.
3,
And in that
2,
process,
1.
I have to go back
Work.
to that mental lab. And that mental lab is at scratch. That mental lab is in that trained humility. And so that's where I get better. I get better when I'm
Up next, rest for 10
digging
seconds.
holes in the ground. When I'm waking up early knowing I don't have
3,
to do these things.
2,
That's where I get
1.
better.
So it's important to stay humble.
Rest.
It's important to stay hungry.
Up next, work
but
for 20
it's
seconds.
important more to stay humble within that hunger.
3,
So while you're
2,
hungry, a lot of people are hungry,
1.
but
Work.
humility is everything.
What was that story about William Crawford, the janitor?
Yeah. So this guy won the Medal of Honor. So he won the Medal of Honor, and which is a
Up
highest
next, rest
award
for
in
10
military.
seconds.
And this guy
3,
went to the Air
2,
Force Academy,
1.
and he
Rest.
was a janitor.
Up next,
And you know
work
what?
for
He knew
20
who the fuck this
seconds.
man was. He had the highest award
3,
in all the military
2,
for heroics.
1.
For
Work.
heroics, saving lives, putting his life on the line. Could have been killed. And he is now basically, cleaning shitters for young kids.
Up next, rest
And
between
we
sets
all
for
imagine
6
how
minutes.
That probably went, there's probably some,
3,
little bit of
2,
taunting here and there.
1.
And he just got there and cleaned the
Rest
shit up.
between sets.
So that's why he's in my trained humility part, because for this man to be at the level he was and have that kind of humility to go, I'm a Medal of Honor winner, but I'm gonna put that in my closet, and I'm gonna pick up my broom and dustpan, and I'm gonna pick up, this rag and clean this shit for these young men. That right there is amazing for me, man. That's where you grow. That's growth, huge growth. And also it shows that he was doing his job. He was a servant. He didn't look at himself any better than anybody else. The second you do that, you're totally lost. You cannot look at yourself like people with me even. I always look at people. I know where you are. I know where, because I've been there. That's why I help so many people out. I've never been above you. I've always pretty much been beneath you, and that's where my knowledge came from. So I know how to reach those people who are in the dungeon, because I've been there so many times.